Hello and welcome to another Last Epoch build. And before we start, I would like to thank everyone who likes, comments and subscribes. You guys are awesome. So I have a question for you guys today. What happens when you grab the Wraith build and the Fire Necro build and put them in the same room? They have a baby, and this is their baby. Um, we're running the skeletons, so they deal passive damage. We just have them walking behind us. But we still use the Wraiths and the Dreadshade to increase their power. We spec the Dreadshade in a way to summon the volatile zombies. Although you see the Golem here, I haven't got any points in Golem, I have the points in the volatile zombie. But since the zombie costs like 60 mana and we can cast it for 10 mana with the Dreadshade, we're gonna cast it that way. As you see, zombies appear here. We can keep putting Dreadshade on the zombies and they will blow up and summon another zombie, as you see here. So we're gonna have an infinite amount of zombies anyway. And yeah, you just run around, let your minions do the job as Necromancer things. Boss here, the damage is really high, it's crazily high. It's a bit screen cluttering, but if you don't like this, you can just go for the Wraith build. And if you don't have that unique, just go with this build and then change it later. Anyway, on with the build. For this build, we're running Skeleton Mages, Summon Skeletons, Wraith, Dreadshade and Zombies. For the mages, they will be following us around and attacking stuff. We went for the adaptive spell damage, base crit, more skeleton mages, multiplier and health on crit, pyromancers because we want to burn everything, and we remove the mages so we only have the pyromancers. We're gonna have 5 mages with this build. Then we went for extra projectiles, 2 is enough. We have a bunch of minions, we have a bunch of AoE, we don't need to spec 4 points in it. So we put the other 2 points in some more attack speed. Alright, the summon skeleton, we're going for the archers, so we remove the warrior, we limit the warriors to 1 and then just remove it all out. More skeletons, we went for fire attack with 2 points in it, so they fire a 5 arrow volley. We went for 3 points travel here, where we give them more damage, more zombies. 1 point in skeleton warrior cast bone armor. This doesn't do anything because we don't have skeleton warriors, but we have the cooldown reduction, so they will fire more fire volleys. And we went for another necromancer, for another skeleton here, so we're gonna have 9 in total. Summon Wraiths. Wraiths are gonna be they deal a lot of massive damage, so we want base damage, increased damage and leech, cast speed. This doesn't do anything. We put 1 point in fire rate. 1 point is enough because we have 2 idols that make us spawn the fire rates, so that covers that. 1 point in more crit, crit multiplier, and then we made them totems, so we summon them at target and they can't move and they deal way more damage. Dreadshade essentially needed for the volatile zombie, so when a minion dies with Dreadshade it summons a zombie. We gave them more base damage, we made them give us more area, this is more for travel, increase attack and cast speed, and increase area and damage. So yeah, that's it. Travel all the way up to the volatile zombie and then make the Dreadshade stronger. The volatile zombies, you can go pretty much anywhere with this. What's important is that you get the giant zombie. I made them, turned them into fire, made them deal a lot of damage with vomit, and I made them give me ward when they die, so I have my ward always charging up. But you don't have to go this path. Basically, you can spec into giant zombie and then into vital ward, and then you can go wherever you want. If you don't want to use the vomit, you can just go for the kill threshold and maybe make them jump on the boss. It doesn't matter how you spec the zombie. This is more of our tank kind of thing. All other 3 are ranged, so he'll be more like the tank for us. We're gonna have him as tank. We're gonna have the golem running around. We don't have points spent in it, so the golem isn't that strong. and we're gonna have another minion summoning from the passive. So let's get into the passive and I'll explain those. For passives, we have the 8 points in intelligence and necrotic resistance, 7 points in vitality and increased minion health, and 5 points into minion attack speed. What's important to note is that the Necromancer passives are really strong, so you don't want to be spending more points around anywhere else. So 20 points in Acolyte, I go for the 10 points in Lich for intelligence and increased mana regeneration. This is not really needed with this build, you can skip it if you don't want it. And then we go for the Necromancer. And when you go for the Necromancer, you can see it kind of splits into two sections. There's this first part and the second part. The first 25 points are good, but they are not as strong as the second part of the build. So in this area here, only spend 25 points and spend the rest in the external area, which is way stronger. So I went for 8 points in increased minion damage and attack speed and cast speed, 3 points traveling Care's Blood, and we got the armor shred. So we have a 100% chance on hit to shred armor. We have about 500 million minions attacking all the time, so their armor is gonna be removed from the enemies instantly, especially bosses. Also, the summon zombies have their vomit. It also shreds armor, so we're basically gonna be hitting against enemies with no armor. 1 point in health regen, this is more for travel. 7 points in minion health. I've put 7 points because again I want to spend only 25 points in the first area, so I have more points to spend in the second area. One more zombie. I took 1 point in Dark Retribution. Dark Retribution summons a Skeleton Vanguard chance on whenever a minion dies. It's only a 5% chance, but that doesn't matter because we're gonna have so much minions dying all the time that we're gonna be having 3 vanguards all the time. It's 1 point is fine. And then for the last part, the usual suspects, we go 3 points in Tyrant, 1 point for them for another skeleton, 5 points in Frenetic Summons, River of Bones, extremely good, Heresy, again, Intellect crit, Blades of Forlorn, crit multiplier, it's really good. Base damage, minion fire damage, minion necrotic damage, it's excellent. Rite of the Undead, elemental resistance, minion necrotic damage, minion elemental damage. Elemental damage, we're using fire damage, so elemental damage is gonna buff that. And another mage. And that's the build. For gear, let me talk about gear really quickly. The only piece of gear you require is this idol, the first line. 41 chance for summon rates to summon a flame rate instead. This is all you need. You want your rates to always be flame rates, because the melee rates obviously they're pretty useless if they can't move. And that's it. This is the only piece of gear you need. Obviously that rattle is really good, but it's not required. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you like this build, and I see you next time. Bye!